Hey everybody, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. So do me a favor, before we get started, I need you to hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, I need you to do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and notification bell next to it so that you will not miss an episode. So how is everybody today? All right, so today we're going to talk about this prediction that in 2053, the blacks will have a net worth of zero. Has everyone heard that prediction first and foremost? Click a like button if you heard that prediction already. So we're going to talk about that. And I am not going to be long. So what I want to do today is this is what I want to do today. When a white person asks you, why is that? Why are they predicting that black people are going to have a net worth of 2053? Why? I'm going to give you the answer. All right. There are multiple answers to this, right? And the answer is not financial literacy, in case you're thinking the answer is financial literacy. All right. So, this is what I want you to tell them. When a white person asks you, why are they predicting that black people are going to have a net worth of $0 in 2053? This is your number one answer. Because you don't want to be married. So, you're in your 20s playing around. And not everybody plays around. Some people are just, you're off to yourself and you're just not interested. You're in your 30s playing around. And then when you hit 40, then you have the thought that, maybe I'll get married. And then at that age, it's still just a thought. So you're not taking any action. You're not going on dates. You're not asking anybody on dates. You just want to talk about it. That's what you want to do. You want to talk about this future wife, right? But no action behind it. Like a whole year has gone by, you have not asked one person out. Then you hit your 50s. Then you get really serious about maybe you should get married. So why is marriage important? Well, marriage is a partnership. Of course, you have to have the right person that is on the same page with you. Let me tell you about this guy that I met. So I met this white guy, and he was very interesting. So he didn't want to go to school, so he didn't go to school. But he got into business in his 20s. And I asked him, I said, how did you get started? And his answer was, I had a rich uncle. But the interesting part was, he has several businesses in several different niches. But one of the main businesses is a fifth generation family owned business. So, how do you have a fifth generation family owned business? Well, first of all, you have to have a family. All right. And then you're passing this down to your children. If they're interested, you're giving your children a leg up. So your children are not trying to figure this thing out. They're not 40 years old trying to figure it out. They have a legacy. And why do they have a legacy? Because they have a family. All right. So that's your first answer. When a white man asks you, why, why is it predicted that blacks are going to have a net worth of 0 by 2053. You look at that white man and you tell him, because I'm 40 years old and I think I might want to be married. All right. That's the answer you're going to give him. All right. So the other answers are answers that you're familiar with. So you know about slavery, right? So we don't have to rehash that. But basically, no other race has gone through slavery. All right. So that makes a difference. We're seeing the results of slavery. Even now, look at me. You see I'm a Black woman. You see how I look, right? So you're looking at the results of slavery. In the economy is also, we're seeing the results of slavery. But I'm not going to rehash that. All right, let's see. So what are some other reasons? Focus. What is the focus? Well, you know that Black women are, the highest number as it pertains to entrepreneurs. They're really out here doing their thing. However, in general, there is not enough focus on building businesses and buying real estate. So that's where the wealth is. And in some kind of way, we got turned around believing that education is more important than building businesses. Of course, education is important also, but not enough focus on entrepreneurship, building businesses, buying real estate. Some find out late, then others never find out. And then there's also a problem with the lending. Whether you want to admit it or not, there's a problem with the lending to even get these things off the ground. But some kind of way, Black women have figured that out. All right. Highest number of entrepreneurs. All right, let's see what else. There's a prison pipeline. So there is a strategic plan to put as many Black men in prison as possible. So it could be something minor, it could be something serious. Minor things where other races are off the hook, you're going to jail. So there is a concerted effort to put as many Black men in prison as possible. And all you have to do to see that is just go visit your local jail and look at the races of people and look at the proportion. How many of these people are Black? How many of these people are white? How many are Asian? How many are Latino? Right? Of course, not all Black men are in prison, as you know. There are a lot of Black men that are doing very well. They went to HBCUs. They have their businesses. They have their education, et cetera, et cetera. However, there is a strategic plan that has been put in place. And it's important to be aware of that. All right. So this study was done by a group called Prosperity Now, an Institute for Policy Studies. So some people are actually sitting back and studying this, and they're calculating where are Black people going to be in 2053. right? And so by their study, they're saying that Black people are going to have a zero net worth, and people, even more will have a negative net worth. All right. That's what they're predicting. And we're going to cancel those plans. All right. Focus on business. Which business? And start that business this year, even if you don't know what you're doing. And we're going to focus on real estate. All right. There's also the stock market. Don't forget about the stock market. All right. So you tell them that because they want to know. And especially give them the first answer. Because the first answer, that's the truth. All right. So do me a favor. If you like the channel, hit that like button. If you're not a subscriber, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and notification bell next to it so that you will not miss an episode. Feel free to leave your comments below. If you are interested in joining the real estate community, check out this link below. Join the waitlist for the real estate group. And if you're a man watching, check out the hat collection below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.